have the two most recent world champions in Michael Schuttler and Ruben Boutins, but it does have a former world champion in Matthias Grüten, and second in the World Championship last year, Dennis Huller from Germany. So a really strong one. We've got Regis Gosselin, he's a potential winner there. Bradley Shepherd, the BRKC O-Plate winner from down in Bournemouth there, he's in the mix. Dante Dillon, who just gets better every year, he's in this one too. Mats de Jong, a name arguably from the past, but showing that he's still relevant to Mats de Jong. A lot of his great results have come previously, but another one who can perform today, Dan Healy, of course. Now, Dan Healy was among the fastest yesterday. He's been absolutely week-long in practice, and especially yesterday, and he did well earlier on. Sean, of course, we can never overlook Sean Brierley, potentially a final winner. Always, you would say that. Certainly a potential finalist. But like everybody else, he needs to put the points together to get that. Regis Gosselin, another one who's been away from karting for a little while. He spent the last 3 years focusing on motocross, made a bit of a comeback to karting last year, and has a much more solid year this year, including the World Championship. He's going to be contesting in Portugal in July. Regis Gosselin, a very well-respected Belgian. But certainly this race is going to be a tough one, and it's going to be very difficult for people to score points. There's going to be a lot of people taking points off each other in this race, so there'll be some disappointments in terms of people's hopes for the semi-final and final. This is the kind of race that you've probably got more points to lose than you have to gain. There's Sebastian Räikkönen. He's going to be the first one out to qualify, and so he's heading out, and a bit of a gap there. And then I believe that's Sean Brierley, and then being followed there possibly by Dennis Huller, but we'll have a double check. So as they head out onto the track, we're going to keep an eye on who's actually doing what. Sebastian Räikkönen is going to be the first one to set a qualifying time. He is out there leading the way on this warm-up lap. He's going to cross the line in a moment to start that warm-up lap. You can see there, very good view there. There was Sebastian Räikkönen shooting through close to the camera there. And there comes, I think, Sean Brierley there. So Sebastian Räikkönen starts his lap, and so does Sean Brierley. There's Brierley. Another one on that qualifier is Dennis Huller, as I was saying. Michael Seaborn's in there too. And then we've got Dan Healy. He's started his lap as well. Now that's going to be one to watch as well. Dennis Healy, Regis Gosselin, he's gone, showing up to second place. Bradley Shepherd, very fast on his out lap. The time he starts as soon as he leaves the pit lane. And Mats de Jong completes those who have started their qualifier. Now the checkered flags out to qualify. Here comes Sebastian Räikkönen. He's going to go fastest, but then Sean Brierley's right behind him. So there's Räikkönen going to go first. And then Brierley. Sean Brierley has taken the provisional pole position from Dennis Huller. Dennis Huller's gone to second place. Michael Seaborn is in fifth place. Dan Healy is fourth. Regis Gosselin goes third. So it's still Sean Brierley on top. Dante Dillon there. Bradley Shepherd into second. The Bournemouth-based driver in second. Matthias Grüten, a former double champion. Mats de Jong takes the provisional pole. The final driver through has gone fastest. That's Mats de Jong, the vastly experienced Belgian driver, has gone into pole position ahead of Sean Brierley, but it's not by very much, just 0.3 of a second. Spanners, Sean Brierley is going to be a little bit disappointed not to be on pole there.
Yeah, and it's a fair old gap as well. There's 0.3 that Matt de Jong has managed to pull ahead in pole. So he's, and if I'm reading that right, he's not just nicked it, he's put a statement of intent all over the heat. He's
really taken it. That's 33.0 for him, and 33.3 for Brierley, 33.3 for Grüten, 33.3 for Shepherd, a low 33.4 for Huller, 33.4 for Gosselin. See, it's very small increments considering there's a 0.3 second gap in Mats de Jong's favour. But someone else is coming in for a kart swap, Spanners.
Well, this is Dan Healy. He's obviously a little unhappy with his kart. So I heard some jangling. That's not bits falling off, I'm sure.
Now, let's have a look at the screen here. What I was talking about before, the weights, Dan Healy is not using the seat insert. You can see he picked out two weights there. They are the weights from the track. Now Dan Healy, they're reaching into the bag, a random draw for a replacement kart, so now they're going to put his insert. Now Dan Healy's seat insert is weighted up, but he's also carrying some extra weight from the track. So Dan Healy kind of doubling up there with, he's obviously been racing another formula which has got a lighter weight limit, and he's had to make up his 90 kilos there using the track's own weight. So that's Dan Healy.
Obviously,
so fast in
didn't
practice.
have a good Christmas because he's had to pick up some extra bars of lead there.
Yeah, that's right. Instead of bars of chocolate, he's going to the bars of lead there, although bars of steel, I think they are, aren't they? But he's out on the track now trying to warm that thing up as best he can. This is where there's a bigger disadvantage. You can see he's waggling the wheel, just trying to create some friction in those front tyres there against the track surface to get whatever heat he can. As much of a mental thing as an actual reality thing as well, and just make him feel better. He will, I expect him to start in the final place of 10th. He's dropping back from 7th. Of course, if he had qualified 5th, no matter how he felt, there'd probably be no reason to switch the kart. So, they're coming round now. It's going to be Mats de Jong leading the way. Now, Mats de Jong, very competitive, but so is Sean Bradley, so is Mathias Grooten. So, Mathias Grooten, of course, is the fastest ever in the British Rental Kart Championship lap time over all the years that BRKC has existed here at Formula Fast. But it is Mats de Jong who's leading the way. He's taken the start, he's got the lead. Sean Bradley second, then Grooten. It's opening up a little bit. In 4th place, Bradley Shepherd. Now, Bradley Shepherd has won a BRKC title before, but it's been the O-Plate, the Summer Championship, rather than the main event. But he has won it. He has won a final, but he's under pressure. He's under pressure from none other than Dennis Huller, second in the World Championship. And that's over 4th place in this race as they complete this opening lap. Spanners, it's looking like an epic.
Everyone's having a look. There's no big gaps opening up except at the back there. So Raikkonen is falling away a little bit. But I think everyone's in that pack that they want to be in. So there wasn't that immediate urge to jump in. Where did Dylan qualify? Because it's strange to see him back down there.
Dante Dillon, he qualified down the order. He's running 7th, but Dan Healy is still running last. He's not been able to overtake Sebastian Raikkonen. He'll want to do that as soon as possible. Now, let's have a look on screen. We can see on screen where they are, and that is still Dan Healy who's running 10th and last. There's Dan Healy on the screen there in the orange-topped helmet. And this is not what he was looking for from this race at all. Meantime, definitely what he was looking for. Mats de Jong is looking for pit stops.
Double pit stop. So Grosjean's gone in. He looks like he's done a good job, but there's a red light, so we'll have to keep an eye out whether that was okay. And then Healy has gone in as well. Absolutely the right choice for Healy to get that out of the way now. I don't see what other choice he had.
I think you're right, absolutely. He can't really be losing any time to anybody. That kart will be getting warmer all the time. He'll be getting back up to pace. We'll keep an eye on his lap times. That's Dan Healy we're talking about, who is another one in the pits. Spanners, we got the 15.
We've got Holler, who's coming in. He's skidding to a halt for the pit stops. He's away. It's just a case of whether he gets out in front of Grosjean, which he does quite comfortably.
Dennis Huller, second in the World Championship last year when it was held in the USA in Charlotte, North Carolina. And a very, very successful week out there in the States for Dennis Huller. He did well. He won the Nations Cup as part of his team. He also was second in the championship too. So a really, really epic week. Meantime, of course, he's dropped down the order to 8th, but with that pit stop in hand, we'll see if he can move forward. He obviously feels he can with that early stop. Not making the stop, though, is Mats de Jong, and we can probably expect quite a long run in there for Mats de Jong. He's got no reason to come into the pits. Sean Bradley, it actually looks like he's falling away. More into the clutch of Mathias Grooten. Mathias Grooten, the Belgian, is a double world champion from the past, from 2008 and from 2015. There we are looking at Mats de Jong, the Belgian expert. He's been around for a long time now, and he always runs at the front.
Yeah, again, no one's got that pressing need at the moment to come in. We've got a little battle at the back from the guys who have pitted. So we've got Grosjean, who's lost out to Holler. But apart from that, I don't see anyone's got that urge. Again, we're going to drift towards the end of the race, where it becomes kind of punitive to wait because something is going to go wrong. But at the moment, no one's holding anyone up.
No, interestingly, Holler and Gosselin are running very close to each other on the track. They've both made their pit stops. Now, they need to sort of not fight each other and just run at high speeds. They need to almost push each other along to maintain excellent lap times. We're going to have a look at the screen here. 33.2 we're seeing for them. They're faster than most people in front of them. Okay. But maybe they could do with going a little bit faster, because the three leaders are all running 32 seconds, where they're mired in 33. But Gosselin has now dipped into 32s. Gosselin is running very quickly indeed, a 32.9 by him.
Well, that's because he's doing the leaning out of the cockpit thing. So that's why. That's worth 2/10.
Very traditional European style, and of course with a tall driver like Regis Gosselin, he is very tall indeed. It really shows up, and theoretically should be more effective, Spanners.
Oh, look at tall people. They're so proud of themselves. Oh, look at how tall I am. And I can lean out of the car.
He's certainly showing off the height there. And they're coming up to Sebastian Raikkonen. Now, Sebastian Raikkonen is running in 7th place, but he's been hauled in by Dennis Huller and Regis Gosselin. Are the two going to get past Sebastian Raikkonen as one, or is it going to be fight on? Because Raikkonen doesn't have to move out of the way. This is a battle for position. This is, although they've caught him fast, this is not a lapping situation. It's for position, Spanners.
Yeah, interesting. Interesting to see. I'm obsessed with the body language now of the drivers. Like you said, Raikkonen is now he's kind of in the way. He's not really in this fight, but he's under no obligation to jump out of the way, is he? Absolutely
not. He's paid the same entry fee. He's got the same chances. But there is Holler. Oh, trying to make a move. And he's made it. He's made it work. Has he? Yes. Gosselin's now fighting around the outside, but Gosselin's lost out. Gosselin goes to the inside. Gosselin is probably the biggest loser here because with the best will in the world, Raikkonen's not running quite at the same pace as those two. And Gosselin needed to stay with Holler, and that's not what's happened at all. And even as they come back round the start-finish past you, Gosselin is still tailing Raikkonen.
You can't say he's the biggest loser here. If that was me, I'd cut it out and make it my ringtone.
Well, he was waving, and now he's gone past. Gosselin started the waving fairly early, but he's got past Raikkonen. Now he needs to try and close in once again on Dennis Huller. Now, will this actually help Regis Gosselin in a way, because it will really draw those quick lap times out of him? We know the Belgian is very rapid indeed, and we can expect that kind of effort and input from him. Meantime, Mats de Jong is the fastest on the track, 32.6 at the moment. Sean Bradley is second fastest with 32.8. And 32.8 equally for Matthias Grooten, the former double world champion. Now it is Mats de Jong with a fairly sizable lead as he comes round to start another lap. We're looking down the backstretch there. That was Dante Dillon actually going out of view, Spanners, but a good lead though by Mats de Jong at the moment.
It's interesting because we're just seeing basically at the moment if that gap can be closed by Grooten. And what Dillon can do. He's very busy in the car, isn't he, Dante Dillon? Very aggressive racing style. But I think they're the key ones as far as looking at tactics and pit stops. If either of those two can make up that gap, they're going to want to look to go, and then we see whether the guys can respond. So it's looking at whether Briley will respond if Grooten can close the gap, and whether Shepherd will respond as well. But I think we're a little way off that.
Yeah, something we're probably a little way off as well is pit stops from the front runners. However, possibly connected to their battle with Sebastian Raikkonen, and this is the risk you take, pit stopping early, if you're one of the front runners.
Well, we saw it with Conor Marsh, didn't we, in the last race?
Is a situation where Regis Gosselin and Dennis Huller have actually dropped back, and they would only really be challenging for 4th and 5th place should those guys in front of them all pit stop now. So they're under enormous pressure to make up some time to cover some of the lost ground. This hasn't worked out well for Dennis Huller and Regis Gosselin. That's an absolute fact. Okay, so there's Sean Bradley. He's one of the top Brits and one of the great hosts. Very experienced internationally, particularly both here and in Europe and in the USA. A regular in the World Championship, a regular at the Sport Kart Nationals in the USA over there on the West Coast. Very well known out there is Sean Bradley, but he's most definitely from Britain. There's a lot of karting here in the UK as well. Always one of the favourites here, both with everybody generally, and also in terms of results as well in the BRKC. Has been in the final before. You're
not favouring the Brits, are you, James? Surely we're welcoming all our European and international friends.
As always, I'm just talking about one of the Brits right now. So, talking of a favoured foreign driver, you'd have to look at Mats de Jong being a favoured driver in both person and in result, because he's leading the way at the moment with a 2-second lead over Sean Bradley. And there's Matthias Grooten, a double world champion from the past. Now, he's actually closed in on Sean Bradley, and he's starting to make a race of it. That's the battle for second place. They're coming past you, Spanners.
Yeah, no, this is going to be the one to look at. That gap's closed a lot quicker than I thought, but at the moment, we're not seeing any defensive driving from Bradley. He's trying to get away, but at some point, he is going to have to switch, because it does look like there's quite not a great pace delta, but certainly enough to have Grooten starting to have a look. Or does he just dip into the pits now?
Absolutely. And of course, Mats de Jong, the Belgian veteran driver, he's pulled out a 2.1 second lead over this battle. So he is actually able to make a little bit of a conservative pit stop, no risks pit stop, and still come out ahead, which of course exactly the situation he wants. Now I'm wondering, Sean Briley, Matthias Grooten, could they go faster? I don't think so, because really they're both running. I mean, they're both running faster than Mats de Jong, but oh, there's a pass. Not quite. And the 11 kart there, that's Matthias Grooten. He made a big lunge at Sean Briley, and there was contact. There was definitely contact, and Grooten has lost an awful lot of time in that. The gap is huge now. They're coming past Hugh Spanners. Look at that gap.
Wow, yeah, I didn't even recognise the battle because there is a good 6 kart lengths now between. What happened then in the back end? I take it Grooten went for it.
Yeah, basically that. Went for it, made contact, had to back out, and obviously cost time because he was off the gas when he needed to be on it.
But now that means that Briley does have not only a comfortable pit stop if he wants to take it, that situation's returned, but he's stopped losing time to the leader as well. Yeah,
theoretically, he's running a 33.69 on that last lap. Of course, you'd expect to be a bit slower because of contact, wouldn't you?
Yes.
But Briley crossed the line. That's a bit more representative, and he is faster than the leader. Sean Briley is quicker, but Matthias Grooten in third is quicker than the pair of them. And so Matthias Grooten is beginning a bit of a comeback, and they're both making inroads bit by bit to the race leader, Mats de Jong.
See, this is where it's a real advantage if you have people on the pit wall who are looking at the gaps for you. So if you look at someone like Dante here, who's chasing down for 4th place, possibly overdriving it, trying to make that gap up. If you were his teammate now, you might say drop into a gap, get Shepherd out of your vision, and just concentrate on your own lap times.
The only flaw in that plan, Spanners, is how do you say all of that over the pit wall?
I would say it in English, loudly. Oh, here we go, we've got a pit stop, number 19, Seaborn. He's making his stop.
Yeah, Michael Seaborn pitting out of 7th place. That's to the benefit of Dennis Huller and Regis Ghostland. Seaborn been putting in a very good showing so far this weekend. He's coming out of the pit lane and back into the race. There's Sean Briley on screen.
Yeah. If you're going to have a bad pit stop, as Seaborn did there, that's the time to do it when you're on your own.
What was bad about it, Spanners?
It was tentative. He took a few stabs at it, start, stop. But yeah, there you go. It didn't cost him.
It's a new format for him. He's one of the sort of new drivers, if you like, in the BRKC, one of the debutants. So obviously that's to be expected, I think. But it has cost him a bit. He's dropped down to 9th place. He's running ahead of Sebastian Raikkonen down there in 9th place. And who's the one in front of them? It's Dan Healy.
So I thought that was a move down the back straight. It was de Jong lapping Raikkonen, but very effectively.
Now Sean Briley puts another lap in. There's Matthias Grooten, and let's have a look at the time. Well, they've lost a little bit, but so has everybody. Everyone was a little bit slower on that lap, it seems, by a couple of tenths, literally across the whole timing screen. So we'll see what happens, whether things are slowing down. Obviously the track does change a bit, but it seemed a bit sudden there, Spanners, for everyone to be losing 0.2 of a second.
They might have added an extra bit of track while we weren't looking, but it seems to have been removed now.
Yeah, that's right. And meantime, though, someone who is removing himself out in the front there is Mats de Jong, and there's Sean Briley that we're looking at. Yeah. As ever, he's always one of the favoured Brits. He's one of those who we're looking at to get the result. His second place is going to give him an awful lot of points. Given the choice, he'd love to win more than anything, not just for the medal that you're going to give him, Spanners, but for the big 10 points instead of 9. There's Matthias Grooten, double world champion in 2008 and 2015. Very much one of the veterans on the scene, and certainly still a driver to be reckoned with. He turns up and he's capable of winning day in, day out. And here comes, into the pits.
It's Raikkonen pitting out of the way for that battle for second place. He looks calm and relaxed, but he's going to come out in clean air, safely behind Dante Dillon and Shepherd. But looking at Grooten, maybe after that incident, maybe a bit of head down, because he was on a charge before that. He closed that gap down quickly, and now he doesn't look to be making that gap back up again.
Now, what's going to be interesting, Spanners, is although there's a lap difference involved, he's come out right in front of, this is Sebastian Raikkonen I'm talking about, he's come out right in front of Dennis Huller and Regis Ghostland. They're going to be closing down very soon. This time they may get some help with the blue flag, though, because Sebastian Raikkonen is a lap down to them rather than the fight for position that they had before.
Well, I was saying that gap to Grooten wasn't coming down. Actually, it does look like it is coming down a bit, so I take back everything I said, erase it from the record.
Now, Mats de Jong has been putting in some very, very quick laps. He's the fastest one out there, 32.5. It's about the quickest lap we've had on this revised layout today. Now, Mats de Jong is the fastest on the track, and he's up to Dante Dillon in terms of where he's going to come out.
Okay, so Gruton has decided that enough is enough for that chase, and I wonder if there's a psychological effect where he thinks, well, because Briley's had to be so consistent to keep that gap ahead of him, you're kind of giving him an advantage by showing how fast you are. Maybe he's thinking psychologically, put Briley in on his own, and maybe that lap time will come down.
It could well do. What's interesting is that Matthias Gruton has come out not too far ahead of Dennis Huller. Only a few kart lengths in reality, certainly within distance. Oh, here's Sean Briley.
Yeah, Briley's responded immediately. So let's have a look. This is crucial now to get it right. He looks to have got that perfect, to be fair, and he's gotten ahead well ahead of Gruton. There's going to be touching of karts, but it was enough to get fully ahead into turn one.
Absolutely. Very fortunate there, Sean Briley, that it wasn't the snail section that followed, it's the revised layout.
Yes.
If that had been the snail section, Gruton may well have had the momentum to pass him, but as luck would have it, Sean Briley was able to defend the position into the hairpin instead. But they're still battling side by side. We can see that on screen now. As we look on screen, the mostly yellow is Sean Briley, and that is Gruton that we're looking at in the close-up.
Yeah, that gap's...
And this is really close. And there's Dennis Huller not far behind. There's Huller. So here's Briley, here's Gruton, and here is Dennis Huller. And behind him should be Regis Coastline. There he is. So this is really closing up there for that battle, which realistically is potentially as high as second place.
I think that is running for second place. Yeah, fourth place as well. That gap is kind of getting smaller, but I don't know, how long have we got left? Are we running out of time?
We've got
for Dylan?
4.5 minutes to go, but there are 3 karts yet to stop, and they're the top 3. Mats de Jong, Bradley Shepherd and Dante Dillon. Fourth place, of course, and the highest of the pit stoppers is Sean Briley, who we're looking at now.
Okay, so that fourth place one is going to be fascinating when it comes to the pit stops.
Big time. And so really Sean Briley is very, very close fight with Matthias Gruton, and Dennis Huller is getting himself into the mix. He's less than a second away from them now. So there's Sean Briley we're looking at in predominantly yellow. There's Matthias Gruton almost pushing him along. There's Dennis Huller. Dennis Huller's in the same picture down the backstretch. So the German has caught their pair in front. So there's Sean Briley from Britain. There's Matthias Gruton, the Belgian, and the German, Dennis Huller, is right behind. Dennis Huller, of course, was second in the World Championship last year, and he's actually closing in on those in front. There's Briley, there's Gruton, and there is Dennis Huller. And there is Regis Coastline, but really it's the progress of Huller that's the talking point on this.
Well, if you're Briley, you go, right, I can start parking it in the corners now because Gruton's going to come under pressure.
Well, we heard Brad Philpott describing it as white lining it, you know, sticking to the edge of the track, to the inside, just blocking everything off, almost to heck with the lap time, just don't lose the position. And I think Sean Briley's going to have to have this approach. Now, into the pits.
Yes, it's Dante Dillon, so this will be key. It's a really aggressive, he's going for it, for sure. This is going to, I think the gap's going to be too big to be able to do it in the pits, but we'll see.
Yeah, he was trying to stay ahead of Sebastian Raikkonen there, which he has done.
Shepherd. Yes, you're right.
Yes, Raikkonen was the one immediately behind. I think Raikkonen may be a lap down to him. Here's the leader.
The leader's in the pits. Stage 1 is negotiated safely, and actually he's timed that perfectly. Fantastic.
And that's the Belgian veteran, Mats de Jong, who takes his pit stop. He continues in the lead. Sorry, no, he will have lost the lead when Bradley Shepherd comes through, but Shepherd is yet to pit.
The effective lead. We're happy with that. We'll forgive you.
Yeah, it probably still is the effective lead. In fact, the way he's going
is
very close to being the actual lead. He has got a good lead there. But look at this, Sean Briley and Matthias Gruton. Matthias Gruton is actually coming under attack now from Dennis Huller. Dennis Huller, the German, is trying to pass the Belgian. The Belgian is no longer all over the back of Sean Briley. He's, he's getting very defensive down to that corner there. In the pits, Shepherd.
Yeah, this is key for fourth place now. We're looking at Dillon just coming around the hairpin. I think Shepherd is going to do it, barring a disaster. He's out, and yeah, Dillon's not going to have the momentum to do anything. Like you said, if it was the Snell, it might be a different story. But I tell you what, there's no gap now, and if anyone's going to put a move on late, it might be Dante.
It could well be. Really bad luck there for Bradley Shepherd in terms of the actual positions. The carts behind were so close. And then look at that, Matthias Gruton signalling to Dennis Huller, let's work together. That finger and thumb signal is, don't fight me, let's work together. What he's intending is that they tackle Sean Briley and then resume the battle there. But you could clearly see it on the screen there. For those who aren't used to this form of racing, it is sort of accepted sort of, driver speak, if you like, signalling between each other. And Matthias Gruton clearly signalling. Look at Dennis Huller, he stopped attacking the Belgian. He trusts Matthias Gruton has the sheer pace to catch Sean Briley, and he's willing to trust the Belgian double world champion to close in on the Brit ahead. So Dennis Huller has got the message from Matthias Grooten there, that finger and thumb that we could see on the previous lap. Matthias Grooten just checking over his shoulder that Dennis Huller is still on with the plan. But look who's caught the pair of them. It's Regis Ghoslan. Now, what really Sean Brierley needed was a fight behind him. That is not what's transpired. You can see there Matthias Grooten. It shows almost the level of respect the others have. Matthias Grooten with a simple flick of the finger and thumb has actually really taken the heat out of that scrap to focus on attacking the Brit ahead, Sean Brierley, who now is into second place. Very near the end of the race, those Spanners. We've got less than a minute to go. Well, now, look at this. There's Dennis Huller with Regis Ghoslan right in his tail. And look at that gap has opened. Yes, and that's to Grooten's advantage. Grooten took the heat out of the fight with that signal. And Huller's sort of got the message, and he's on scheme with it. But I'm not sure Regis Ghoslan is. I'm not sure Regis Ghoslan is going to make any kind of deal at all, except the deal that puts him into the highest place he can get.
I've got a slightly different read on that, James, and I'm not going to die on the hill. But I think Grooten kind of lost track of Brierley before he started giving that signal. And it was as he saw the gap start to open, that's when he kind of said, oh, come on, guys, leave me to do it. But I think by then the damage had been done. Brierley's done a really good job of parking it, white lining it, as you say, and making them fight amongst themselves. So he's earned that second place.
Spanners, we've got the end of the race now. The checker flag's coming out on this lap, and it's going to be Mats de Jong. An incredible victory there for Mats de Jong. He's rounding the final corner, and the checker flag is out. It's going to be Mats de Jong who takes the win. Mats de Jong, the Belgian veteran, takes the win there. He's got the checker flag. Second place, surely is going to be Sean Brierley from the double world champion, Matthias Grooten, champion in 2008 and 2015. Is that Grooten lost? No, Grooten was, it was a back marker in front, I think. Sorry, it was Sean Brierley, wasn't it?
Yes.
Sean Brierley second, Grooten third. Dennis Huller lost a lot of time and came under huge pressure from Regis Ghoslan. Just that signal from Matthias Grooten, and those watching, if you remember, there was that finger and thumb signal in the mid part of the course there, on the backstretch from Matthias Grooten, which kind of took the heat out of it. Dennis Huller kind of over-responded now. Well, we're looking, Ghoslan's in front of Huller, but I think that was after the checker flag. I don't think Dennis Huller actually made the move, or actually lost the place before the checker, so he'll be listed ahead. Yes, he is. He's in fourth.
I think we've definitely got to get a word with Sean there, haven't we?
I think you do, and maybe even Mats de Jong. I mean, that is great, the Belgian veteran winning. He's been at it so long, and he comes back and takes the win there. Incredible performance.
Well, you have to see me. If you win a race, you have to see me to come and get your shiny medal, don't you?
There you go.
Yeah. That's the power I yield in this pit lane, James.
Well, all the power is yours.
All right, let's see if we can catch up with them. This moment of trying to analyse and read their body language as they come out of the karts. As Sean came into the pits, he looked almost triumphant. Let's see if we can grab a quick word with him first. Actually, he's sorting out his admin. We don't want to get him disqualified, do we? But he's having a word there with the race winner. And he certainly was fist pumping as he came in, so he's incredibly satisfied with that result. You might have to help me spotting Matt. Yeah. Let's grab a word with you quickly, then we'll speak to Matt afterwards. I'm here with race winner Matt de Jong. How did that feel? Comfortable for you?
I wasn't expecting it at first because 8 wasn't really that good in the beginning of the day, but maybe it's better on this layout. But in qualifying, I even made a little mistake and I was 3/10 ahead. And after the start, I could slowly pull away.
That was with a mistake, was it? So how much more could you have done?
A mistake, like 1/10 I lost maybe, but
there was a lot of scrapping behind you. How aware were you of that? Because early on, you had a chance. I said early on, you had a chance to pit when Sean started scrapping with the guys behind.
I wasn't thinking about pitting. I always have the mindset, if it's possible, pit as late as possible because you have a slight advantage coming out. So I wasn't thinking about early pitting.
Fantastic. Well, you have got a shiny medal as a BRKC winner. Well done, Matt. Thank you very much. I tell you what, you might have to follow me as we go and try and catch up with Sean in the pit lane. He's just weighing himself. Let's see if we can catch up with him. Sean, have a quick word. I tell you what, you earned that second place and you really had to make the guys behind you scrap. What was it like holding off Grooten, and did you know that gap was going to close itself up?
Sorry, can you say that one again?
Did you know the guys behind Grooten were coming, or were you just concentrating on defending from Grooten?
No, I was keeping with De Jong for a while. I then made a few mistakes, lost my head a bit. Grooten closed in, eventually made the move, blocked him off, and I got a gap from it. He closed it back in again. I pitted. I knew he was going to catch me up, so I backed him up into Holler, so I could try get away.
Well, it worked in the end, but you had to be super consistent to keep that gap to stop Grooten getting to you.
Yeah, it was a crazy difficult race. It was a bit of a death heat. I'm delighted to come away with it. I decided just to go hardline defensive, just to get the points. It's not the way I enjoy driving, but you sometimes have to do it.
It's got to be done. Second place, big points. Thank you very much, Sean. Absolutely well earned. A great heat there. I think a much higher standard of race than perhaps we recognised.